skill, yeah. Or maybe some suck. I'm just a new guy for the love of game. Wait, don't go, I know it's bad. Times have changed, but not by mad. Don't you know that games are my thing? Yeah, I know it's getting real late. Come on, look at me. I even do storytelling. Also podcasts on great game subjects. Okay, yeah, I'm not a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. But hey, that's what makes me so unique, right? 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 Alright, hello everybody, it is I, NikoTheLegend. And we're going to be talking about something Mass Effect related with the one and only Saintwolvinn. Hello. Hello, Saint. How are you?
Hello. Very well. How about yourself?
I'm great. And you guys know me as Nico, the well-mannered teenager in the snowflake. I got to stretch. God, work was a little tough today. Changing the air filters really got the better of me. Okay, so it's December 4th, 2020, and usually I don't ever tell anybody the date because I don't deem it relevant, but I don't know, this time I did. Probably because we're talking about something very, very important today. And as you see on the screen, yeah, that's pretty much cut and dry. That's pretty much the nitty-gritty of what we're talking about today. So I have the beautiful Saintwolvinn once again. Her and I are, I think we're like, I don't know. I don't want to say we're like the writers because they sucked. Maybe we're like, you know, I'm Shepard and you're Garrus, or I'm Garrus and you're Shepard. I don't know. It's like some dynamic duo in the Mass Effect franchise.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those guys. I think they're cool. So one of us is into calibrations, and the other the other one is into saving the galaxy from Reapers, right?
Yeah.
So Saint, thanks for being on here once again. It's third time's the charm. Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting better.
I wish this was like something like talking about good news.
That'll never happen.
Yeah,
Anything
no, I
bio-related?
won't.
No way. Oh gosh. Okay, so before we start, I usually do this by the end of our little podcast. But where can we reach you, Saint? What's the best way to reach you?
Twitter. Well, mostly Instagram because I don't check Twitter that often unless there's beef. I check Instagram a lot more, and it's all Saintwolvinn, so y'all won't get confused.
Okay. And what's the other platform that people could find?
Twitch. Right.
Well, no,
Forgot I have a Twitch.
There's one more. It's the simplest one.
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. You can reach me there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
please.
Saint's got a YouTube channel and everything. It's Saintwolvinn. There's always a link to her YouTube channel in the description below if you ever want to check out her stuff. And you do like informative type videos, Saint?
Yeah, gaming news. Sometimes some streaming. Sometimes some opinion videos, but mostly it's gaming news. That's kind of like the main course on my channel.
It's the only course that YouTube really gives a shit about anyway.
Let's
plays,
basically.
Streaming. Speaking of streaming, what game are you currently streaming so people can kind of get an idea of what you're playing these days?
Mass Effect 2, and I stream Elder Scrolls Online on the side.
All right, there you go, folks. So she's a big Mass Effect fan like you and I, and I'm sure you guys already knew that because she's been on the show quite a bit. I don't think it's ever a good idea to put somebody on your show or whatever you want to call it and talk about
that doesn't like what you're talking about.
This. I don't give a shit. Just give me my
Why are we
check
talking
already.
about this?
It's like I'm just here for the food or the booze. I can't even supply that these days. It's kind of sad. But enough about me. Let's okay. This is gonna be a deep dive. So with something this important, and I do this in some of my videos, Page Fan, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for the congrats on 300 followers. I used to have 305, but now I'm back down to 301. It seems that the more I stream, the more I lose. That's really good times. But YouTube is doing all right. Back to what I was saying. With something this important, I feel that it's best to just be really bland and boring and read the entirety of the article. Yeah, this isn't that long, but I want people just to be caught up with us and know how this is all going down, because these people that have left the company are not just people like you and I, where we just quit, like, I don't know, an entry level job. These are head honchos of this company, and that's a big deal coming to when it comes to I don't know, the success of a company that they're trying to achieve, trying to become what they used to be, which was, I don't know, making good games, which I know sounds subjective, but the stats don't lie. And them leaving, not good at all. But I hope it does get better. So without further ado, I shall do my best by reading this and saying I'm sorry to bored you, make this boring for you. So, pardon me. Here's an exposition.
We're good.
Here's an exposition dump. Okay. I did this earlier. Let me drink some water. This Santa's hat adds about an extra 10 degrees to my bald head. Like it's ridiculous, and this green screen is like a windshield. It's it prevents things from hitting me like air conditioning. Okay, so Bioware general manager Casey Hudson, God rest his soul, and Dragon Age executive producer Mark Darrah, God rest his soul, are leaving the studio. Laura Miele, chief studios officer at Electronic Arts, announced the departures on the Bioware blog alongside personal messages from Hudson and Darrah. Hudson said in this note that nearly 20 years with Bioware, which is a long time by the way, he has made the decision to retire from the studio and make way for the next generation of studio leaders. Yeah, next generation, and we'll see about that. When I became studio GM a little over 3 years ago, our goal as a leadership team was to position our people and projects for long-term success. Hudson said, now as Bioware celebrates its 25th anniversary, the studio is poised for an exciting new era of amazing games. This year, we've been inspired by the continued community support for our ongoing work of Star Wars: The Old Republic. That touches my heart. And Anthem. A few months ago, we provided a deep look at the work that's going into the next huge Dragon Age game. And on N7 Day, we announced Mass Effect Legendary Edition and gave a hint at what's coming next in the Mass Effect universe. It's an exciting time, both in terms of projects you've heard about and some things not yet announced. So, arriving at this point has been an opportunity for me to reflect on my own future, and 2020 has been a year that forced us all to reimagine how we think about work and life. For me, it's been a realization that I still have tremendous energy to create, but also that I need to try something different. I'm not sure exactly what that is yet, but I know that I want to start by rediscovering my creative passion through more personal work. Darrah will be replaced by Bioware Austin studio director Christian Daly as executive director on Dragon Age. Miele said, like Hudson, Darrah called his departure from Bioware a retirement from the studio. This has been a very difficult decision for me, Darrah said. The team of amazing developers on Dragon Age make my life fuller and better. They have taught me so much, but the strength of the team is also what makes this possible. I know that Dragon Age won't survive without me. It will thrive. We'll see. Hudson's first credit at Bioware came as a designer and artist on MDK2, released in 2000. My God, what a blast from the past. He left Bioware in 2014 and joined Microsoft the following year. Hudson rejoined Bioware in 2017, replacing the departing GM Aaron Flynn. And Darrah joined Bioware in 1997 and originally worked as a programmer, according to his LinkedIn profile. Okay, yes, so there you have it, folks. That is the plain Jane, the cut and dry approach to this. Now that we have a context, we can actually dive into it. Our jobs are a little simpler, a little easier now. Okay, so Saint, let's do this. Are you ready?
No.
Go Panthers. Okay, so I'll just start. I think, God, what do I think? I mean, I think about a lot of things in life, but this, Well, I'll go with my initial reaction. I was very surprised that this was happening, considering what news we got about a few weeks ago with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and we got the whole post from Casey Hudson. It seemed like on paper everything was probably going their way. Everything was going decent. Doesn't mean it's not just because these people leave. But these are two gurus for Bioware, and they help shape. Well, let's just be on the positive side here. They are what made Bioware the best that it's ever been. Of course, nowadays it's on the road to recovery, kind of like Eminem was back in the day. Everybody gets their what goes up must come down, and they're trying to steadily get back up. Them leaving. Just as to me adds more fuel to the fire. Unfortunately, I don't like saying that because I want to be positive about this, but it's really hard to do that because these guys, considering what we got with Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda, and then Mass Effect 3 and let's go even further, Dragon Age 2. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah have made amazing games throughout their career for BioWare, and they're like I said, they're the gurus and they're like the grandfathers of the company. So it's like when you leave a company like that, it's almost like you take it with you a little bit. You take a piece of it, and I don't think it's gonna sit well with people because maybe we could do the research on these new people taking over. Maybe they have good careers in gaming. They've done a lot of work. They've had positive reception, hopefully, and I trust that Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah, their replacements, are people that they can trust, that know what they're doing and actually have a vision, unlike with Anthem, because they were just in development hell for so long, because no one knew what they were doing or how to even go from point A to point B. Same thing with Andromeda. We don't ever want to do that again. So them leaving, I hope, because BioWare needed leaders, and they had them with Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah. Now they're gone. So now it's like being a director for the Star Wars franchise. No one ever wants to do it, and when people do it, there's so much pressure on. There's so much on the line. I feel like it's kind of like that with BioWare on somebody who takes the mantle, because BioWare is already a shit show as it is. So it's like, yay, here we go. This is our fourth quarter comeback, right? So yeah, there's definitely a lot to ponder on. What do you think, Saint?
I think this just oh man, this smells like disaster basically. Like right now, BioWare is on a really they're not in a position to like mess up.
No.
And what I told you like earlier, like Dragon Age is their saving grace, man.
Yep.
Like like as of now, the only IP that BioWare has not completely fucked over has been Dragon Age.
Uh-huh.
Well, like current IP. We're not going to talk about KOTOR or anything like that, but current IP, it's Dragon Age. So for the executive producer to leave like mid development, like we don't, well, not necessarily mid development, but they're still there. They're still in the process of making the Dragon Age.
Yeah.
So a new leadership, like wanting to or not, like may cause a change in direction, may change certain things that are already there, which smells like Andromeda again. And Mass Effect, like I think at least they're having an easier time to an extent. Like I know Casey Hudson was like, yeah, okay, he was the GM for BioWare, but he was mainly for Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
He was mainly a kind of like a what you would relate mentally to Mass Effect, I guess.
Yeah, he was the brains behind it. He was the project director for all 3 games.
So, when he's leaving, even though it's not the same position, but still he's leaving, which means that, Mike Gamble will have to do basically everything himself, which might be a problem. Like might not live up to the expectations that would come with the Mass Effect game, just like Andromeda did. Which is kind of scary at the end of the day. It's kind of putting a lot of pressure on them. And actually, right now, Bioware has no GM. Like, it was very abrupt. It was like out of nowhere. Like, they don't have a GM. which is another problem entirely because it shows how like the studio is internally. Like what I believe that if you are working for a company you care about and you know that there's like some pretty tough projects on the line or things that you care about at least, you wouldn't leave like so abruptly in the middle and not even in the middle of like this whole situation that we're going through. Like you wouldn't do that. Like if you're leaving, like if you're just getting up and leaving, there has to be something that really bothers you,
And
which
that's exactly what Abyssal Dragon Slayer just said. Welcome everybody to the stream. This He says this is a terrible omen for two execs to leave the company at the same time. It means that something is going on behind the scenes that caused them to want to get out before it was too late. Yeah, it seems that Bioware was just a ticking time bomb. And just think of it like this, Saint. Just think of it like this. So Casey Hudson comes in. He comes back 2017 when Bioware was literally. It was just like a it was like a circus in there, So that's you're already going to something into a really shitty, stressful situation, and I can only imagine that has to have lasting effects for as a psychologically for a person, when you're going into a place that's just so fucked in terms of game developing, interrelationships, interpersonal relationships with employees and stuff, and just EA and Bioware as a whole. There's so much stuff going on, and that transition period is not easy. Even if he's been there for so long, he became the GM. He got definitely a huge salary increase and stuff, and look how that turned out. It's like history is repeating itself now. Now he wants to legit just get out. Period. Like something really crazy, something really maddening had to have happened behind the scenes to make two grandfathers of this company to just be just up and leave, supposedly, right? They always have these professional statements like, "Oh, we want to go on and do our own thing," and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, look, I know that's great and all, and I know you don't want people to know what's really gonna go on behind doors, but we're gonna find out anyway. That's just how the internet is. Someone's gonna blurt it out why they really left. Just like how we all know um, about that hour-long article if you read it from top to bottom about Anthem's development, what happened behind that, and Andromeda, which is like a 30-minute article. It's ridiculous. Um, so that could all still be happening without us even knowing. So, you know, it sucks that it kind of scared them away. This is the same situation that happened with Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. You had two project lead guys leave the company at the same time. I think it was two or three people. The exact same thing. And that game's been delayed to next year, not just because of the pandemic or anything, but because it's in development hell, which is unfortunate. Which sucks because the first Bloodlines game, which came out like early 2000s, had the same fucking issue, development hell. And it's like history likes to repeat itself, especially in the gaming industry. So it's like that for Mass Effect, for unfortunately Dragon Age now. And like you said, Saint, I don't want Dragon Age to be dragged down in the fucking ditch in the dirt and to be buried along with Mass Effect. No. They have two separate graves, okay? Two separate holes. One's definitely deeper than the other. Dragon Age, it's a little deep because of Dragon Age 2, from what everybody said they didn't like it. But Inquisition, was the reason why Dragon Age is still, where it's at today. Mass Effect, not so much. That's a very deep hole. But the holes have gotten deeper now. And I don't want to sound like I'm over exaggerating, but bottom line, it just really sucks to see these guys leave because they had the vision, they had the thought process, and they didn't even want to put up with it anymore. And Bioware is not prone to having a high turnover rate. So this is new on who's leaving, but this is old news at the same time, which is I don't think ever a good mixture. Um, Usually you want out with the old, in with the new, but this is not really new. It's just the people that are leaving are just new to that. So
yeah, and it's like what you said about the salary increase, like it's really true. Like just Casey Hudson had already left and like he came back in a different position. And to think that like coming back in a better position where you're earning more money, where you have more control is still not enough. I
yeah, it's
mean,
never enough
it says a lot about
about the
like
company.
what's going on. And I think, yeah, it's what you said. Like when they make all these like official statements and whatever, like we all know it's not true. Like we've seen developers that have left Bioware, not developers of probably that caliber, but
Yeah.
still people that worked at Bioware. And what their main complaint is always is basically Bioware became too corporate. So when they say like, oh, we just want to go into more personal projects, it's a way of saying, yeah, Bioware became a fucking sellout where we just care about making the money and that's it.
Yeah.
We want to leave and we want to do something that actually makes us passionate, which is completely understandable. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think it's bad on them, but I
No.
definitely think that mm,
It's bottom line. It's a shitty situation. It's like it's a double-edged
yeah.
sword. Um, these okay. Let me just lay it out for you guys. These are guys who helped make Bioware. Okay, they've been there for so fucking long, 20 plus years. These are the guys that brought you Neverwinter Nights. They've been there since for that long, probably a bit. MDK2, Neverwinter Nights 2, Knights of the Republic, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Mass Effect, Jade Empire. You get the picture. These guys have been there ever since Bioware's in its infancy. So to see, this is a life lesson that I hope they learn, because this is what happens when you always go, when you go to daddy for more money. For the big, like, I need your help, dad, to pay for my college tuition, and then you're in this lifetime debt to daddy, to big daddy, and you're like, oh fuck, it's you want to always be in control, and they lost control. You don't want other people to make the company that you created. You want to always be making the decisions, not like EA or, like you said, corporate Bioware, which is obviously what it is now. It's definitely not even close to the same company, of course, when it was first developed. Not even when they were at their highest point, which was when undoubtedly Mass Effect 2 was definitely when the company was at its highest point. Even though that came out before Dragon Age 2. So yeah, and to see this, them leaving this baby of theirs, maybe because Casey Hudson just wanted to leave Bioware before because he was like, hey, you know what, there's a job opportunity for this, and he came back, maybe second chances. No, he gave a second chance, and he's probably like, no, I'm getting out of here. This is fucking shit. This is not worth what they're paying me, because the saying goes, money doesn't buy happiness, or does it? But in this case, it definitely doesn't. And what's crazy is to see Mark Darrah leave, because he has not left yet, and he always seemed like the chipper, like the chipper-rooney kind of guy. He's always seemed pretty energetic whenever he's doing interviews for games and stuff. But he felt really passionate. And to leave your baby, to your magnum opus, Dragon Age is Mark Darrah's magnum opus, and Casey Hudson's Mass Effect, to leave that, again for Casey, it's a shitty situation. And that's how you know that it was so bad on what was going on behind closed doors. And I can only imagine the type of shit that everyone under the Bioware roof went through, even maybe under the EA roof. I know EA has this terrible reputation of closing down companies that don't make them enough money or isn't being successful. But then they sometimes learn the lesson. They give Remedy Studios to make Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which did very well, and it's like, okay, see, there you go. So now you just got to do that for Bioware. And we haven't seen that yet. Not yet. Because this Legendary Edition is going to be a good test of that. At least Casey Hudson, if there's light at the end of the tunnel, at least Casey Hudson left at the pretty much. I'm pretty sure Legendary Edition is done. They're just working out the kinks, so at least he left around that time. But there's still Mass Effect 4. I would really have loved to see him be there at least halfway, or I don't know, the entirety. Same thing with Mark Darrah with the new Dragon Age, And these games are going to be a while till they come out. Besides Legendary Edition. Like, Legendary Edition is the only thing from Bioware that's coming out real soon. I don't know about Anthem next, but let me tell you, I don't give a fuck about that game. I don't care, because it's not Bioware. That's EA. EA, God, fused into like latched on to like corporate Bioware. Ugh.
Yeah,
I
it's ugh.
and I'm glad that the Old Republic is still alive, which is amazing, by the way. I don't know how they're still alive. They must be making enough money to where EA's like, all right, we don't have to cut our losses. Old Republic is doing well enough for us, which boggles my mind because the game's been out for almost 10 years, and I mean, I love it to death and everything, but my God, the player count is nowhere near to like Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft. I mean, holy shit, not even close. But still alive. Um, but anyway, my point I was trying to make is that it's just really sad, man, that they're just officially hopefully they don't come back. I don't want them to come back because I don't want them to go through the same shit again, right? I don't want history to repeat itself
Yeah.
again. Oh my, it's like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, we don't want that. Um, so it's gonna be another roller coaster ride for the next 5 years for Bioware with this going on. I say 5 because in the next 5 years we'll see the next Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Hopefully, no one.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one pulls the plug. And my God, the transition phase of these developers leaving is gonna be horrible. Leadership change.
It's gonna be hell.
It's
gonna be hell.
It's not easy no matter what you do in life. Like this picture like this, all of a sudden you have this, I don't know, you have this father figure or this sensei, who's been teaching you everything about what you need to know. Let's just say in the gaming industry, you have that person, that father figure, been doing this for so long, and then the next day they're gone, they quit, and you have no idea that this is coming, or maybe you do. Maybe you had a premonition of some kind. You're like, oh man, this, like I said, ticking time bomb, and then. Yeah. Like no one sees it coming, and then it's just like fuck. Like what do we do now? We don't have our generals with us anymore. We don't have our Admiral Hackett's. That D-bag. He can leave. Actually, he's a D-bag. we don't have our Captain Andersons anymore. So who's gonna steer the ship? I don't know if there's anybody like Commander Shepard who can easily take the place or the spot of Captain Anderson like they did in Mass Effect 1. I don't know about that. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, for like the only thing that kind of, I don't know, like the thing is, I think mentally everyone's a little, I don't know, they've given up a little bit of hope in Mass Effect. Like unfortunately, like that's just the way it is. Like the next time a new Mass Effect comes out, we're definitely going to be pretty skeptical about it, to say the least.
And we already are skeptical too. So
yeah,
now it's just more to the skeptical fucking pot. Anyway, go on.
Exactly. But the positive thing is, from what I was saying, okay, Kristen Daly is going to be the new executive producer. I don't know who that guy is. Let's hope that he's gonna be a strong leader. But Matthew Goldman remains the creative director, and he's been there since Origins. So that at least
okay, good.
Gives a little hope.
Gives
a little hope. Yeah, Dragon Age. So that at least gives a little hope in that like they're not gonna completely ruin everything. Like I think what's most at stake right now isn't even Dragon Age. I think it's Mass Effect more than Dragon Age, because no matter if Casey Hudson was, GM, he was still a big part of Mass Effect. Like I'm pretty sure that the people from Mass Effect went to ask him for help, not necessarily everyone from Dragon Age.
Yeah.
So I think that losing that kind of like guiding path as to what Mass Effect's supposed to be, it's going to be pretty hard. And that's something that Mike Gamble's going to have to do basically alone, like on his own. Because I think he's the only oldie there. Like one of the only oldies that are left there kind of in the leadership role. So
you have like these majority of these guys, these spoiled brats trying to make a game together that don't have anybody to be like, hey, this is how you actually make a good game. Stop making it into this stupid fucking, I don't know, like senseless game where it's just, I don't know, a live service game maybe. Yeah, let's not do that. But that's how it's going to be. So I have Christian Daly up here. So it's the shortest bio I've ever known for a person. This is actually how short my will's going to be. Along with BioWare's, oh snap, I went there. So Christian Daly is the studio director of BioWare Austin. Okay, he had worked as the franchise developer director of Anthem Live Service
We're
bringing
fucked.
out the updates such as the first Cataclysm. Speaking of Cataclysm, this might be a World of Warcraft Cataclysm situation, folks. Heyo! Season of Skulls, Ice Tide, and the 1.7 update. He confirmed that Bioware Austin would be working on the new build of Anthem. So you go from
He just
this.
worked on Anthem then.
Yep.
Dragon Age is fucked.
So, Marvin Edwards II said at least Mac Walters is there for Mass Effect. I forgot what Mac Walters did, which I do apologize in advance. Like I said, the turnover rate for BioWare has been so anal and ridiculous that I can't even keep up half the time. Like, I don't know who's there. I don't even know who does anything anymore because like you get to know them and they're like, okay, bye.
And then 3 years later, then they come back and then they leave again.
Okay. So he was the lead writer for Mass Effect and Mass Effect Andromeda, but so they cancel each other. They cancel each other out right now.
yeah, because it's like, well, you were great in 2007. 10 years later, you kind of sucked ass. So I don't know.
Yeah, they were probably they were like pigs with sticks and straw. They didn't know about the pig with bricks.
Yeah, I definitely I don't know, that doesn't give me that much confidence, to be really honest. Like, yes, Mass Effect, but I don't think anyone considers the original Mass Effect the best Mass Effect. I think it's probably 2 easily, story-wise at least. Andromeda was just a fucking dumpster fire.
The thing is, in the defense of Mass Effect trilogy, people can at least remember it as a whole instead of just the Mass Effect 3 ending. It's a solid trilogy. It really is. 95% of it did amazing. Okay. Do you think that's a fair assessment on that? A fair percentage? The last 5%, which is a huge chunk, by the way, is the Mass Effect 3 ending.
I'd say most of the trilogy is fine. Like, obviously no game is perfect, and there's obviously going to be some stuff where you're just like, maybe I want to not experience this, or I want to go through this mission a little faster, or I don't care about this character.
Yeah,
I think like Jacob was the literal version of Liam of Mass Effect 2. Like, no one cared about Jacob.
Yeah, no love for the black guys in Mass Effect.
No, it's so sad, but yeah, like, dude, I want an interesting black guy. Like, if they're gonna make, a black guy, it's like if they're gonna make a Latino, if they're gonna make anyone, like, why do the white people need to be the fun ones? Just make someone up, make a fun person up.
I mean, that's why you have the different species and stuff, and usually those characters are great and all. It's just for some reason they couldn't get it right with the black guys.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. To an extent,
I like Jacob's like loyalty mission. Actually, I thought it was kind of cool that his dad was like sending a distress signal.
Yeah,
that was neat.
Like, I don't get why
that was it with just Jacob.
He had because I don't get why he had like a stick up his ass like literally the entire game. And I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. And like, yeah, it's literally just poor black people, dude. Like, it's literally the worst representation you could even possibly imagine. Yeah. Of like, oh yeah, there's someone from my race in a game, but the guy's a prick that no one cares about, and is thought like more of an afterthought. It's kind of like,
And then Liam was
it's so sad.
Liam, I just didn't like right from the get-go. There's something about him. As soon as he waves at you in the beginning of Andromeda, I'm like, you fucking piece of. I'll kill you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, he was the nice guy, but the character development for Mass Effect Andromeda they were all like cardboard cutouts, and the quality wasn't that great for them. They weren't that great, but Liam was definitely at the bottom of the barrel. But like Mass Effect, I like Rex, I like Miranda Lawson, I like Ashley Williams, I like Garrus, of course, Grunt. There were so many great characters, but Jacob was always my least favorite. I didn't really take him anywhere with me. I mean, I love Samara. Samara is such a badass. Like, we got 2 Asari chicks in Mass Effect 2. Wait, well, you know what I mean. Like, in the franchise, we got 2 badass Asari characters. We got Liara and we got Samara. Wow, that rhymes. Anyway, but I like Jacob more than Liam, just because Jacob was a little bit more like, boots on the ground kind of guy, and Like I said, his loyalty mission was fun and all, but he was, eh. He wasn't as cool as
What?
the other
Like
characters.
I'm seeing a comment that you just got. I'm sorry. I'm seeing a comment that you just got that was just like that people say that like the Mass Effect fan base like hates minorities because of James and all that. Like because of James, because of Jacob, because of Liam.
Well,
People always take that shit like the wrong way. Like
yeah.
people always take that shit the wrong
Well,
way. It's not even like it has nothing to do with race. It's just a sad coincidence
no,
that the
yeah,
shittiest
they
characters
were just bad.
are dark. They're
Yeah,
just people of color. Like it's just the shittiest. Like it's
yeah.
a coincidence. I don't even think James is that bad. I think that if maybe
I
you
like
progress
James.
James a little bit better, like he's a cool dude.
Yeah,
Like yeah, it's not
I
to
had
be
no
taken
problem.
personally.
Yeah, I had no problem with James, honestly. I liked his dialogue. I liked his banter. I liked the stuff he did on your Normandy. And then Vitor said Kasumi. Like Kasumi's a pretty cool character too. She's a badass, like assassin, stealthy chick, and her DLC was fucking awesome. She's such a cool design, and she had a nice like little. She had a nice tragic backstory. She wanted to be reunited with her lost
She had
lover.
a lovely traumatic childhood. That was great.
Yeah,
That was the best part of her character.
best oxymoron. But it's like even though she kind of you do her mission and everything, you're like, okay, I know what she's all about. You could relate. Yeah, you want to be reunited with your lost lover, and the only way she could do it was through VR, which is so sad. Like sad
Yeah.
isn't
Oh
like
my god, I'd
depressing.
forgotten that part. God,
Yeah,
that's sad. Yeah, I'd
yeah.
forgotten it.
It was so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe like Mass Effect. Here's the thing, quality over quantity. There was a ton of Mass Effect characters that were introduced, and not every single one of them is going to be your favorite. Like that's obvious. Obviously, some are written more than others because that's just how it goes. And me as a writer, not trying to gloat or anything, but making characters is not easy. And when you're, you know, like I'm doing it for fun. I eventually want to publish my book anyway. Not shoehorning anything in, but when you're like comparing me doing it for fun, right, or as a hobby, I try to treat it as work. Compared to somebody who's writing characters under, the roof of Bioware, where you got all this pressure going on, and you got to get these characters done. There's
You
there's a
can't make them all
deadline.
good.
No,
Like you
you
just
can't
can't.
you can't make them all good because there's so many minute details happening. Not just you as a writer writing for the game, everything else happening behind you, around your desk. There's so much bureaucratic bullshit going on. There's so much banter and so much gossip that sometimes it's hard to focus, right? So,
Yeah.
hi, you guys are saying great things. Let me scroll up. Let's do a little comment reading here. I don't have much hope for the new Mass Effect, but at least we'll always have the original trilogy. Exactly. I hope the Legendary Edition does well, as we all do. Oh, God, please. Fulgrim, the Phoenician, says, I'm generally optimistic, but after Anthem, Bioware needs a couple home runs to get my hopes up again. It's not even home runs, Fulgrim. It's fucking Hail Marys at this point. Like, fourth
It's
quarter,
Hail
2 seconds left in the
Yeah.
quarter, fourth quarter, throw fucking couple Hail Marys, and that's what we're dealing with here. But that's still good. I agree. Mac Walters was mostly responsible for the Mass Effect 3 ending. And I think, yeah, and then we had Drew Karpyshyn, but Drew Karpyshyn's original Mass Effect 3 story was so much better. So much better. We discussed that too. I think he was the lead writer for Andromeda. I'm not hopeful if he's going to be in charge. I feel like Bioware doesn't really know how to do great human characters. They got some good ones, but I rarely ever choose the human squad mates over the aliens. Yeah, I guess because when you're dealing with the aliens, they're aliens, right? They're already attracted your attention. Like, holy fuck, what is this guy? A Krogan? What are they all about? It's like sensory overload. Garrus, what the fuck is he? He's a Turian? Okay, I'm already invested. Liara Testoni, what the fuck is she? An Asari? What? Only female Asari chicks? Like what? They're like seahorses.
Hmm. Though, like, I mean, I'd say, like, okay, that's fine. That's true. Like, when you see an alien, you're like, okay, fun. But, like, in that case, like, for example, PB would be interesting because she's an alien. And she's, like, so fucking uninteresting as a
Yeah,
fucking
she
just
was.
character overall.
Well, let's just say this, Saint. Let's just hit the nail on the head. all the characters in Mass Effect Andromeda were pretty, for the most part, poorly written. Like we can all safely agree that, right? The writing for Mass Effect Andromeda was just piss poor, average at best, if we're being nice to one another. Um, so yeah, uh, we had the effects of Mass Effect trilogy. I'm sorry, not to interject so hard, but I'm just going along what you were saying. A lot of the characters in Mass Effect Andromeda, you kind of just didn't want to be involved with them. You're like, ugh. But Mass Effect trilogy, about majority of them, you're like, okay, cool, yeah, these guys are badass. I like these characters. These are characters I can look up to. That's the difference.
Yeah, like I actually saw someone say something. I don't know who it was. I think it was Fulgrim. I'm not sure. I'm probably fucking up. I'm sorry. That like human characters were not, human characters weren't very well written or weren't like the best written. It's either yeah, it was him. That it's kind of true to an extent. I mean, because you don't honestly have that many, you know, good characters. Like, okay, Ashley, I think she's kind of passable, but like she's a xenophobe crazy bitch at heart. Like she like literally she you get the opportunity to kill her in 1, and then in 3 she becomes like batshit crazy after you save her ass and goes to try and kill you and shoot you. Like fuck her. Miranda Lawson, I think, was easily one of the most interesting fucking characters, and with the least screen time. Zaid could have been so much more interesting if they had given him like more story, not just like, oh yeah, you're gonna do my mission and that's it. Because we tried to talk to him before, he doesn't say anything interesting.
No,
Um,
he's just like more contextual in the background. Um,
exactly. Like I think that there were so many characters with such good potential that they didn't kind of like take advantage of. Like
yeah.
they instead like focused on the characters that after a while you kind of start caring that much about him. Like, yeah, we liked Ashley and everything, but we'd seen a lot of Ashley already, and
Yeah.
putting so much focus on like those Mass Effect 1 characters like completely erased the great characters that you would find in Mass Effect 2. Like what? I think my favorite human character, like besides Miranda, would be like Dr. Chakwas, because she was like, dude, she would ask you to like
Oh,
fucking get drunk in a med bay. Like,
okay.
yeah,
I'll tell you
hell yeah.
my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my most favorite. It doesn't matter if it's non-playable or playable. Human character in Mass Effect trilogy. Joker. Joker is my
Oh
favorite.
yeah.
Joker is the bomb. My least favorite human character is Caden Alenko. I'm sorry. I think Caden and Liam could have a lame party together, but original trilogy. Speaking, Caden Alenko was the first to go bye bye. Um, yeah, I think like okay, playable human characters. I would just go with Commander Shepard. I like Commander Shepard the most. Oh God.
Yeah, I like me. I
I,
like myself
I
the
like I
most.
like me. I think I'm the most interesting because I get to choose how I play, right? Um,
Yeah.
so hey Dre, welcome. So Dre says Nordy's pilot was all right. I like Joker because he was Commander Shepard's like best friend besides Garrus. Honestly, uh, the beginning of Mass Effect 2 was so like heartwarming or like heartfelt. You know, Commander Shepard's like trying to
Yeah.
get him off the ship because Joker loves the ship. Obviously, he's a pilot, and you have that crazy separation that they both have, and then like the ship goes down and stuff. And it's pretty. That's the type of stuff that him and Joker deal with on a daily basis. When they're together. They've been friends since the beginning, and they always have clever banter with one another. Joker's jokes. I guess that's where the name comes from, right? Are pretty funny. I like it how he jokes with everybody. He's kind of like the comedic relief on the ship, and it was interesting to see him, even if you didn't like it, if you're not into like, a human with like an AI or a robot android chick, I get it. But it was just cool to kind of see that interaction just happening anyway. Um,
Yeah.
so it was cool. And just with Caden, is just, he was just a stick in the mud. He kept talking about like biotic kicking people in the face. And I'm like, all right, bro, done here. Although he could be one of the most poorly written characters too, besides
Who?
Jacob. Caden.
I think Caden, honestly, like, I think Caden was so much better in Mass Effect 3. In Mass Effect 1, he was a fucking pain. But in Mass Effect 3, I think he actually kind of became interesting and he had kind of like funny comments and shit like that. Ashley to me became a fucking eyesore in Mass Effect 3 because she was so annoying. She got her ass kicked, and you have to deal with her fucking xenophobic attitude. And she was a xenophobe like since like day fucking one. She was like, I don't know how I feel about these aliens. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like,
Here's the best part. Like she's really like testing your faith. And like, look, I banged the hell out of Ashley in my first playthrough of Mass Effect because I was like,
duh.
sorry, I was like 10th grade, 2007. Yeah, no, 11th grade. And I was like, okay, she's pretty hot, and like, I'm going for the human chick this time around. But nowadays, oh my gosh, she annoys the fuck out of me. And so you said the thing, right, about is that okay if, like, I don't know how I feel about aliens being on the ship. I'm like, okay, bro. And then the other thing is, it's like, is it okay if I believe in God? I'm like, oh my God, just stop. Like, I don't give a fuck. Jesus.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, yeah, I honestly think like they were. I think Caden was a lot better written in the end. Like Mass Effect 1, like they both probably competed for like characters with the most annoying fucking topics to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think in 3, Caden kind of redeemed himself and Ashley just stayed basically the same, which is pretty annoying. Because, like, on top of the fact you have to hear her whole God speech and her whole xenophobic speech in 1. Then Mass Effect 2, when you find her, she just judges the fuck out of you after you came back from the dead. And then in Mass Effect 3, she just keeps judging the fuck out of you. Like, she's being super annoying. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm done. I'm done hearing your damn complaints.
Yeah.
I would have probably killed her if that would have made me feel better, but no. I was like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Abyssal. She, despite her annoyances and stuff, at least we were able to identify what kind of character she was. We didn't have to relate.
Yeah.
Maybe we could relate because,
Do I believe in God?
like if she's like that really religious character, yeah, she's
Yeah.
gonna be asking you questions like that, and she's probably like to the point where like God doesn't care about aliens, just humans. Like probably at that point too, like this whole like God complex going on.
She's like a bad Liliana.
Yeah, yeah. Oof, Liliana's got that amazing word. Oof, that accent. So, let's yeah. There's we could talk about the characters all day long and how great they are, but the point of this entire thing is to talk about Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah. Overall, these guys did a majority. They did a good job with the Mass Effect franchise when they were there. I know there was ups and downs in the franchise. Like I know we have our Dragon Age 2 haters out there, of course. We have our Mass Effect 3 haters out there, or the ending. I know I completely understand. Like, and I hope people are real. I don't know. I mean, they can do whatever you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. But I hope people are kind of sympathetic towards them in a way, not like, oh, we should feel so bad, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, it's about time you got the fuck out of there. I'm like, shit. It's like you guys took too long, and like Casey Hudson should have learned his lesson the first time. Honestly, I don't even know how they convinced him to come back. We still don't know about that. They probably
just more money.
Him. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh fuck! What happened to my house?" He's like, "I'm getting out of here." So hit the high road. And you're gonna, just like all the other Bioware developers that have left, they are gonna make their own companies and stuff. And they already did. They're already working on role-playing games and stuff. So that's just how it goes in this industry, or just with any job. You go, you take what you learn. You take your mistakes and successes and failures with you, and you just carry on, my wayward son.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm honestly, personally, I'm pretty okay with Dragon Age. As I said before, I think Dragon Age is at least in somewhat fine hands.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
somewhat.
Mass
Like
Effect,
maybe
no.
not the executive producer, like maybe not the executive producer thing, not really trusting it that much, but at least the creative director, like, you know, the person that's in charge of the ideas is someone that's been there for a very long time. So you kind of know that the idea behind Dragon Age won't get like too askew,
Yeah.
I guess. But no, Mass Effect's fucked. Like if their writer is Mark, they're fucked.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe he'll be like how he was in Mass Effect 1, because Mass Effect 1's story was really cool. Um, I really hope that they both did a good job on like being the leaders that they needed to be, and they they established what vision they wanted. And if you're a respectable person, and your underlings, or your lackeys, or your soldiers, whatever you want to, your employees beneath you, if you treated them with proper respect, and you showed them, the heart and passion of like why you're doing this project, and what makes you, what your reasoning is, then maybe it won't be so bad with the transition period, of getting a leadership replacement, because they set them on the right path at least. They're these Padawans are going to become Jedi Knights or something, and then hopefully they become Jedi Masters like Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah have become. So if they did a good job for the time, them being there, then it might be okay. It might be okay, but I do agree with you. Dragon Age, I think Mark Darrah did a good enough job to shift where the game is going to be. I think because we're going to be seeing something at the Video Game Awards the next week from now, and we saw some stuff before on like the tech engine, the game engine being used, and then the all those concept arts and stuff. Like you got to have when you're doing stuff like that. That concept art is already has a story to it. Like there's already a guy who gets all that stuff done and shows it to the head honcho guys, the big bosses. So they already know which direction they're going. They just have to keep the boat afloat. Just because the captain said "man overboard" and and he was talking about himself. He jumped ship. So we have to pray that or not even pray. I don't want to be like an Ashley. No, just kidding. We have to just hope that these guys just got the training that they needed. Um,
Yeah.
and they're just you know going on the yellow brick road with occasional potholes and speed bumps.
Yeah. There's something that I hadn't thought about, and I thought about it when you were, they left and they, did their cycle, they did their thing, they're moving on, blah blah blah. There's something that like I don't know, it kind of seems weird to me, and I don't know if it's just going to be to me, but it's odd to me that Casey Hudson did not have a replacement yet. This other guy did.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the grand scheme of things, like if something was as abruptly done, like probably they'd be in the same position, like where neither of the two positions would have someone permanent for them.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it's just the GM position. Executive producer was already solved.
Yeah, yeah.
So it seems weird. It seems odd. Like
That's how you know that. Sorry, that's how you know that they left on unhealthy terms. That's a good sheer example of bad blood.
The thing there is that to me what that looks like, and what it's all like based on speculation. To me what that looks like is Mark left with time ahead of him. He was like, I'm gonna leave. Like, get me a replacement. I'm leaving. While Casey was like, fuck you guys, I'm out.
Yeah, he.
Because like if you come to think it's like if you come to think of it, like again, like if both of them had left like super quickly, like they would not have the time to find an executive producer for Dragon Age that quickly.
Here's
Just
the
like
thing.
what happened with the jam.
Mark Darrah put in his 2 weeks. Casey Hudson didn't. That's
Yeah,
basically what it
basically, like
is.
it seems like that. On honestly, like it honestly does seem like that. It seems like the guy that left with genuinely bad blood was Casey Hudson. And even like when you were reading the like the whole text,
Hmm.
the whole thing, I think Mark said it, like phrased it in a way that he didn't seem guilty about it. Like he said, like, look, these are the people that are going to replace me. Like he seems like he really cares.
Yeah.
You know, he's saying like, look, this is going to be the creative director. He's still there. He's been there since blah blah blah. You know, you don't have to worry about Dragon Age, blah blah blah. Casey Hudson was pretty like he didn't give a lot of details. He wasn't like, well, don't worry, like this is on his hands, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna be fine, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, he said Mass Effect, like he trusts the leaders and blah blah blah. But you know, I think that Mark went into more detail, as
Well, he
in
was just
trying
more.
to reassure you
Yeah,
to an extent.
he was just straightforward. You know, he's just letting you know right from the, you know, right away. Casey was just too positive for his own good.
Yeah, it was a little suspicious because to me, Mark, yeah, it's like Mark was more. It seemed more sincere to an extent, like, you know, you wouldn't give all that amount of explanation like
Yeah.
if it was a project that didn't really matter to you. I feel like Casey just said what he needed to say to just get this out over with and just move on.
Yeah.
It seemed to me, at least, like by the like how their like letters were written, it seemed a little uh
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
know those letters aren't like
Yeah.
them just, you know, spilling their guts on paper. No way.
Mm.
That's so
No,
like
obviously.
edited deeply by corporate people and stuff, like professional letters, you know,
Yeah.
professional statements and stuff. You know, they're told to say most of this
Yeah.
stuff, reading off of a teleprompter, pretty much. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes the situation even more poopy butthole.
Yeah, like what my point was is that like uh they're obviously edited, like obviously like seriously edited to not make Electronic Arts look bad or BioWare look bad. But it seemed less artificial in the marks, you know? It seems like it needed less editing. Cuz Casey's looks super artificial, like super done for him.
Yeah,
Like
which is unfortunate because you know this is the guy who gave us Mass Effect and Knights of the Republic and all that jazz. So I think he was just scared of Big Daddy. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
he was really
I think
stepping on
yeah.
ice here.
Yeah, I think Mass Effect is definitely going to be, unfortunately, the franchise that's gonna have a really hard time with this, with the whole like leadership turn. Dragon Age, I think it's gonna fare a little better, even though it's obviously hard for both franchises.
Yeah, but hey, listen, folks. Don't be surprised if Dragon Age and Mass Effect just you know just shoot themselves in the foot quite quite a lot. You know, just don't be surprised. I know we've said it countless times. Just be cautiously optimistic, or just cautious, and just you know watch your back because Bioware might stab you in the back and twist the knife without you even seeing it. And I think these two guys leaving was just the start of that knife going into your back. And you know it sucks because we had such a high with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition finally being announced, and it was like, cool, great, I can't wait, yada yada yada. Mass Effect is relevant again. Yay, let's remember the good old days. Obviously, the bad days will be there, but as our hubris allows it, we only want to really remember the good old days, right? It's not called I remember the bad old days. No, no one ever says that in conversation. It's always the good old days. Um, and God, now it's just like it's just an emotional roller coaster. You know, I still got high hopes for the Legendary Edition. I think it's gonna be fine. It's pretty much done. It's just gonna work out the kinks and stuff. You know, do some polishing, which hopefully you know goes well. But anything future related, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And like, what's it gonna be like for Anthem? You know, I don't care about Anthem, but I'm curious because the creative director is working on Dragon Age now. So how is that gonna work for Anthem? You know, it's just a giant fucking shit show.
Yeah. And
And it's
did you
like,
see
why
that
him?
like yeah, why him? Like why?
This live
Why the
service
guy that made
guy.
like the worst game ever that Bioware has ever fucking released? Why is he on Dragon Age now?
Mm.
And Did you like you saw that like I think you saw the three letters, right? Like it was Casey, it was Mark, and then it was a EA exec. Like you know shit is going bad when an EA exec is saying things on behalf of BioWare.
Let's see if we can find it.
It's Laura. I don't know. Like she has a weird last name. I don't know how to pronounce that shit.
Oh,
The
a message
BioWare
from Laura Miele.
letter to EA. Yeah, yeah. Letter from EA, I guess.
Yeah, let's see.
Chief Studios Officer, Electronic Arts.
Okay, so we'll I'm gonna read this and then we'll do closing statements and everything after we summarize or discuss this a bit. Oh
Yeah.
man, it's like this shit can go on forever. Thank you. Okay, a message from Laura Miele, Chief Studios Officer from EA. All right, so hold back your regurgitation, please, for a little bit. Thank you. We strive for all of our studios, already alive, to be places where talented, creative people come to do career-defining work or career-destroying work. Okay, let's look. Anyway, this is gonna be hard to focus. Sorry. A dimension of this ambition is that sometimes those people want to try something different. Casey Hudson, GM, Bioware, Mark Darrah, executive producer of Dragon Age, are two of those people, and they decided to move on from Bioware. Yeah, move on, all right. I want to personally thank Casey and Mark for everything they have done for the Bioware community, and particularly for our players. They will always be the essential part of the studio's history. We appreciate their many contributions. We look forward to seeing what they'll do next. Okay. When I think about Bioware's future and the next generation of talent in place, I couldn't be more confident or optimistic. Oh, yeah, okay. As I look to the studio's future and the projects currently under development, the next generation of Bioware talent is leading the studio forward. And working on some incredible games that I know you'll be excited to experience in the coming years. Yeah, I have to see it to believe it. Samantha Ryan, who came to EA after leading Warner Brothers Games, is one of the strongest leaders in the industry. Oh boy, a big shitty publisher to another big shitty publisher. Yeah, that's good credit there. It's like Kathleen Kennedy coming from Disney to go to I don't fucking know, what's God, like Marvel or something. Ugh. She will continue to oversee the studio. I'm also excited to announce Christian Daly, who joined Bioware from Blizzard, will be leading our Dragon Age project currently in development. Christian is a fantastic creative leader, and I look forward to you all getting to know him in the coming days. Not days, years, ma'am. Fix that. We recently announced the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and Mike Gamble is leading a team of hard work on the franchise's future. Well, at least we got Mike Gamble holding the reins. He's like the last guru. The search for a new GM is... See, here it is. The search for a new GM is underway. We're already talking to some great people. We will find the right leader with a deep love and respect for his studio's heritage, or this studio's heritage. Who embodies the values of this team and who will help carry on the incredible legacy of Bioware. How do you do that when you're not going to look for somebody who's already working for Bioware? Like you can't
Corporateware.
Like you can't find somebody who knows what Bioware is all about. They're all gone. Okay.
Yeah.
They're all dead. Besides Mike Gamble, I think he's gonna die tomorrow or something. Everyone's just gonna die that's been there for the longest time. So, yeah, Samantha Ryan, not looking good. Warner Brothers Games Studios, a shitty publisher as it is, going to Electronic Arts, not saying too much. Christian Daly, we already know about him. He's only worked on Anthem, live service stuff, and updates. And then, I want to personally thank Casey and Mark for everything they've done to the Bioware community, and particularly for our players. Yeah, of course you do. It's what they all say. They will always be an essential part of the studio's history. I'm like, yeah, you appreciate their many contributions. Okay, why are they leaving then?
Monetary contributions.
Yeah,
that they given.
Why are they leaving all of a sudden then? Huh? Why did they just get up and bullshit?
Getting up and leaving. Yeah, no, it's insane. Like the fact that EA has the audacity to like in something that's BioWare related and towards the players to send a chief studios officer who no one gives a fuck about to make a statement about what's going on in BioWare. Like not even someone from BioWare. Like not even the replacement for like Casey Hudson or something like that. That would be more understandable because it's a BioWare thing. Like no, it's EA. Like it kind of says a lot of like who's really in charge there. You know, it says a lot about who's really making the decisions. It's not Bioware.
Yeah,
It's not fucking Bioware. This
Bioware.
Laura Miel, she shouldn't have even posted anything, bro. Like, we don't give a shit about you. Like,
Yeah,
why?
it's
Oh god.
if my blue balls weren't bad already with Bioware, I think it's purple now.
Yeah.
Gonna die. So
I'm
here's the biggest troll. Okay, so um, I couldn't be more confident and optimistic as we look to the studio's future and projects currently under development. The next generation of Bioware talent is leading the studio forward and working on things. Listen, we already got that. You want to know what that was? That was Andromeda and Anthem. That was the next generation of developers, okay? All the other motherfuckers that have been there for so long are dead. In other words, gone. Okay? We've seen what these people can do. When you have, geez, I don't know, this cosplayer chick who said she
Yeah.
got raped in Grand Theft Auto work on a video game as the what was she? What is she? She did the animation, didn't she? And it was fucking abysmal. That goes a lot. That shows what a company is really striding for, right? It just shows
Yeah.
how distraught everything was and how much chaos. Oh my god, ridiculous! Like absolutely ridiculous. They literally pulled a college kid and put this person in the captain's chair. This fucking private put it in the captain's chair. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So
Obviously.
the cause and effect, the ripples have been seen throughout the entire galaxy, and yeah, this talent there isn't really much talent. No offense to those guys. Maybe there's gonna be like another Casey Hudson or Mark Darrah just popping in out of the woodwork or
I
something.
think it's not even a talent thing, it's an experience thing.
Yeah, exactly. These guys, a lot of these, we've seen what their experience can do. When they don't have leadership, you get games like Anthem, who took about 8 years to release, and there was no leadership at all for that game. You can look up the entire article on Google.
Yeah.
um, so, yeah, corporate speak is never fun speak because it's always going to be like sugar coated with a pat in the back and kind of like in the end, like, okay, bye, shoo shoo. Yeah, I already said my bit about you guys. Yeah, on to the next person to make us money.
Yeah. It's insane.
So, uh, we'll see. Maybe EA will pull like a thing like they did with Remedy Studios and allow them to make the big bucks by making this Apex Legends, which I don't care about battle royale games, but I'm just saying it's successful. Can't argue that. And then Jedi Fallen Order was also successful because they got creative freedom. I pray to the maker that we see that for next Mass Effect and Dragon Age, because they have to learn their lessons someday, right? Like they seem to be learning their lessons with Remedy Studios. They just need to do that for fucking Bioware, big time. So, yeah. Well, guys, any last statements you want to say, Saint, before we head out of here with purple balls? At least me.
Yeah, it'd be a little hard for me to have purple balls, but just that, dude. Like, if they don't let Bioware like have complete creative like liberty, like they're fucked. Like, they're not gonna make a good game. Like, let them stick to their fucking strengths, because if they don't, they're gonna be fucked. They're gonna be fucked. They have no leaders. They have no creative freedom. They're still trying to save a fucking dumpster fire like Anthem, but they left Andromeda die.
Oh
So many
God,
things,
that's a
man.
sin.
So it's I don't know. I honestly, I would love to be like you. That's like, oh yeah, let's cautious optimism. I'm not even saying optimism. Just be like playing out like fucking straight up cautious.
Like I should sleep with a gun next to me under my pillow,
Basically,
and Bioware's gonna come in and be the
basically,
boogeyman. Have a
yeah,
bat ready.
basically.
Yeah. Um, you know, I just okay in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I really hope Mass Effect and Dragon Age do well with the next installments. But let's just talk about something a few months from now that's going to be coming out, the Legendary Edition. Just one final thought. I just hope that does well. Okay, if that does well, at least I'll have it. Uh, for argument's sake, and be like, well, at least they did a good job with the Legendary Edition and they made it work. They actually gave two fucks about it. Gives me hope, and they didn't fuck it up. But if they do, well, you know, we've already talked about this, and we're just beating a dead horse. Then no one's going to care about Bioware as a whole, really. So, with that said, it has been a pleasure and honor to have the wonderful Saintwolvinn talking about our favorite, favorite genre franchise.
Our favorite clusterfuck of
Purple
a
balls.
studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, guys, it shows how much we appreciate Bioware because they have done some really amazing things, and we just want them to see them do it again. That Bioware magic has got to be somewhere there, somewhere. Maybe someone's smoked it all or something. Yep, I've been your host, NikoTheLegend, also known as the One-Manner Teenager and the Snowflake. And once again, you can reach me on YouTube, Twitch, all those other social media platforms. Be a part of the Discord server too if you like. The links will be down below, of course. And then, with the wonderful Saint, you can find her on YouTube as Saintwolvinn. You'll see the link down in the description below. And then, as you said before, Saint, in the beginning of the video, or the podcast, that name is used for all your platforms, right? Like Instagram, Twitter, and
Everything.
Everything, yeah, even Twitch. So give her a chance. Not a chance. Give her a look. And, she's after the same thing as I am. Just, talking about this stuff on a daily basis. And as stressful as it can be, we just want to see these companies succeed. And, so let's do a special announcement right now. This is kind of like on the fly. It just popped in my head, literally. Faster than light speed. So, now you correct me if I'm wrong, but Saint and I might do a Cyberpunk live watch party, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have the launch party thing somewhere.
So, you're going to be seeing us doing that. If you don't see me there, then I'll definitely let you guys know that Saint's doing that for sure, because that's going to be fun. I'm not getting Cyberpunk on when it comes out, but I do want to see it succeed, of course. And it'd be kind of fun. It'd be a fun little activity for everybody to experience with. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be a lot of fun. So thanks again, Pathfinders. The Reapers are still out there. And it's that Malil chick. Oh, God. She's fucking Harbinger. Oh, God.